with Flame Center Tom Sargeant. Light crowd here at the moment, so we'll just start taking some questions. Dom, bye week, how much did that help you guys?
I think it was huge. Playing, I don't think my whole career we've played 10 weeks in a row, 10 games in a row. Coming off of, it's really more than that. You think about camp, you go through all of camp and go through 10 weeks. It takes a toll on the body after a while. I think it's huge. It gave our guys rest and time to recover from as little as like nagging injuries. So I think that helped. And it also helps mentally because when you go 10 weeks in a row, practice can get a little monotonous. But I felt good out. I think we all felt good out there. I know guys were excited to get home last week and get the rest, so I think it was good.
The game with Ole Miss, best rushing performance probably of the year for this team. How do you feel like you guys graded out? I mean, it felt like it was a mixed result, right? You guys rushed the ball for 280-plus yards, but also let up 9 sacks.
Yeah. So going into the game, I think we had a really good run plan. The coaches put us in a good position, putting in, maybe like a different wrinkle for a different play and things like that. That was big for us, just running that. But it's always good to get that many rushing yards in a game. But when you kind of like only have one side of the story, not one side of the story, but when you only have one thing working, when you can only run the ball and you can't pass block, it kind of kills you in certain situations. And it was disappointing that we gave up that many pressures. I didn't think, it's just little things we got to correct in certain positions, and just got to strain to finish. But I think that number 7 for Ole Miss was a really good DN, but it was definitely a lot of things we got to improve on, more so on the pass pro side.
Go to some questions. Let's go to John from A Sea of Red.
Hey, Tom, last 2 regular season, last 2 home games coming up for you in your Liberty career, which has been a long one. So, what are your thoughts going into these last 2 home games?
I'm definitely trying to make the most out of them. Coach Gomes sent out a text to me the other day. It basically said, don't count the days, make the days count, and that's something I'm trying to take advantage of. I'm trying to, be grateful for every day that I have here left. It's been long. You start to think about it as your time comes to an end. But I'm grateful to have had a career that I've had here, and hoping to go 3-0 these last 3 games, last 2 home games and the bowl game. So just taking advantage of every opportunity I have.
Go to Damian from the News in Advance.
Hey, Tom, I was going back and listening to some of the preseason interviews from training camp, and you, Tristan, whoever we had in, kept saying 4 guys were in sync, but there was 1 guy who wasn't in sync. And I think the collective thought was, you're a veteran group, you'll get it figured out. Is it something that just hasn't just clicked like it has in the past few years?
I don't think not necessarily. There's always going to be plays where, Coach Greg likes to say we're, not 5 pennies, we're 1 nickel. And that's what really matters the most. We all have to play, at the same time, and it's hard when, I'll give up a block or say someone else will give up a block. And it just hurts us when they're in key situations. And that's what hurts us the most, and I think, in the last game, the Ole Miss game, because I think, if we had just shored up a couple more protections, I think, we could have upset them just as easily as we, had lost. But it's something we just got to keep working on. I think Coach Cullen Casey, our offensive line GA, has done a really good job helping us teach pass pro. Him and Coach Greg have done a really good job, and that was the focus during the bye week for us, is just getting that shored up so in these last 2 games we'll be good to go.
Is this surprising how many sacks this unit's allowed this year, given just how few you guys gave up last year?
Yeah, I think to me it is a little bit, because I know how good of a group we are and we can be. And it's just, we just haven't, I don't think we've played our best football game this year thus far as our whole group. And it's something that these last 2 games we're really going to focus on.
Let's go back to John.
looking at Louisiana this week, it's a team that's won, I think, 9 games in a row, going back to their season opener against Texas. Is this, maybe the best team you guys has faced this year? And I know Coach Freeze talked yesterday about, how talented their defensive line is. Is that something that you're seeing as well?
Yeah, so from watching film yesterday, I think they're a really good group. They're really experienced, and they play really well and really hard. I think probably this group we're going to play against Louisiana is probably the best overall D-line we're going to play against thus far. I know other teams have had, players here and there, but this group's really solid up front. It's going to come down to us executing each play, straining the finish. And we just got to stay locked in mentally because they do a lot of line movements. And so, we got to keep our feet and make sure our eyes are right.
Damien?
Coach Freeze said Monday he spent more time with your unit last week than he said he's probably has since he's been here. What was that like having him there with you? And I guess the emphasis that he's making, we have to protect Malik.
Yeah, having him come over was, I think, kind of like for us, when a head coach comes over, he kind of like, you didn't do something right. It shows that something we need to get fixed. And by him coming down, I think it, kind of sent a message to us. It's like we need to fix this, and we're all in. We're all committed. We're all together, and we're all going to fix this together.
And another one for me. I know as a group, you guys are very prideful of keeping a clean pocket, creating running lanes, and for you guys, what's it going to take to get back to that mentality, that having that pride of Malik's got a clean jersey and we're opening up rushing lanes for J-Mac, TJ, Shadra, whoever's back there?
I'd say it basically comes down to being fundamentally sound. If you go out there and take a pass pro set and you take the wrong angle or you overset the guy, the rep's over at that point. And it's just going to take us being fundamentally sound, executing the technique that we've been taught, and just staying locked in the whole game. Can't take any plays off.